looks like we're live again. Oh, there we go.
Woohoo!
That's a really cool thing. Good to know. I'll make notes of this. Hopefully it's not too laggy. Hey guys, sorry. So I accidentally turned my computer off because I'm a technical genius. And Totem just heard me explain all this. I'm gonna explain it again because I thought we were live again. We weren't. I learned a finicky thing with BeLive that we will get fixed. But it ended the previous broadcast and started this new one totally on its own. I didn't even do anything. So yay. I really apologize. My viewers, as you know, I am derp. It's what I do. I derp things up. Totem's used to it. He's laughing at me. I'm laughing at me. It is what it is. But good news is I have my other headset on. I can hear Totem and we can continue the show. So I just went on like a 5-minute ramble about the show that you guys didn't even hear. So now I get to do it again. So really I was just practicing, which that's a good thing. All right. So just to confirm, chat, you can hear me. Everything's good. So I don't want to do my ramble a third time.
We are good. They have visual and audio confirmation.
Visual. Excellent. Make sure you guys clip my anything that I do that's derpy. And please follow the BeLive channel. Actually, before I continue, I'm going to say this right now. I am giving away some loot boxes to someone that's active in chat today. And you're only eligible to win if you follow the BeLive channel. So smack that follow button. High five it like you would me. Pretend it's me. Follow the channel, please. All right. So like I was saying, when I thought we were live, I'm going to repeat again. I wanted to give just a brief rundown of what On the Point is going to be about. So there are a lot of Overwatch talk shows out there already, podcasts, vodcasts, what have you. And a lot of them cover the very top level competitive scene and all that type of content. In my travels, while I was looking around, I didn't really see anything that helped out lower level players, the more casual, average type player that has been playing the game for a long time, or several months or over a year or more, but they want to get better. They want to improve their skill. They want to learn how to work with other people on their team better. That's what this show is going to be about. I'm not going to break it down to like the super basic, like, hey, this is what the Overwatch logo looks like. But it'll be a very easy to digest Overwatch talk show series. Something I'm excited about, for those of you who know my history with World of Warcraft, where I've done my teaching raids, where I've brought people in and helped them out, I'm going to try to do the same thing with Overwatch, with this talk show. So we're going to discuss not only how to play better, but also how to be a better player. Because with any online game, a lot of people don't realize that it's not just a matter of logging in and playing the game. You're playing with other human beings. And unfortunately, with this day and age, the level of interaction between players has kind of dissolved. So, I mean, with any game, not just Overwatch, just any online game, when you join a group of random people that you don't know and you're going to go do a dungeon or go do a match with them, simply saying hello right from the get-go really starts you off on a good level and good foot. Everyone's feeling good. So we're going to be also touching topics of how to work better in these random teams, people you might not know if you're not playing with your friends, and how to communicate better and work together more cohesively as a team. So yeah, hopefully. Perfect. So just grabbing my notes because I had to reopen them after I shut my computer off. And yeah, so let's see here. We did that. And I mentioned the loot box giveaway. Follow that channel, guys, and just be active in chat. And I think I mentioned this while we're live before, but I'll say it again. A lot of talk shows are just the host and their guests kind of talking to each other about whatever the topic is. But I really want this talk show to be very community oriented. I want it to be very chat oriented. I don't want you guys to feel like you're just sitting there watching me ramble on. I want you to participate. So if you have a question or you have a comment on something that we're saying, say it in chat, because BeLive is an awesome feature where I can feature your comment on screen like I showed you earlier. So yeah, it's great. We're going to try to include you guys as much as possible. Going forward, like this episode is the introductory episode, so the layout and format of it and the technical difficulties hopefully are only in this episode.
So it's a one-shot deal.
It's a one-shot deal. Special edition episode, technical difficulties and derps and all. But next episode on next Sunday and going forward, what I'll be doing is having a very formatted, discussing one hero per episode or one map, or talking about team composition. Each episode is going to be pretty short, about half an hour, maybe 45 minutes tops, because I know I personally have a very short attention span. I know a lot of other people do as well, and no one wants to sit there for an hour or more listening to someone ramble on about Overwatch. So I'm going to try to keep the episodes pretty to the point, on the point, concise, easy to digest, and I'm looking forward to it. I already have some people lined up, and at the end of this episode, I'll tell you what next week's episode is going to be. I'm really excited for my guest. He's actually in chat for that episode. But yeah, so yeah, we'll look back on this and laugh so exactly. I laugh myself every day. All right, so let's just dive in, Totem. Yep. BlizzCon, as everyone already knows, a new hero has been announced and is already in the live game. Just pow, right in there. So, who is this mystery character that I'm talking about, Totem?
Well, that depends on who you ask, because a lot of people would just say Bob based on popularity alone.
Yeah, but Bob. It's Bob actually, and his sidekick, Ash.
Right, Ash. Ash being the sidekick. But yeah. No, Ash is the new hero. You know, she basically hit the PTR immediately after BlizzCon, and she was only there for a week, and she's already on live servers. So Ash is basically one of the main leaders of the Deadlock gang, and Bob has kind of like been her butler, someone that's been looking out after her pretty much all her life. She was born into a rich family, and she basically like united a bunch of the different like gang organizations together. This was back when Malkarii was still with the Deadlock gang, so there's a little bit of lore that we got with the cinematic, but all in all, like Ash is this kind of like, she's kind of like a mix between like a Malkarii and a Widow. She's more of a mid-range type sniper.
I feel like she has like a Junkrat aspect in there too, with like the dynamite she can throw in and blow up, or like shoot herself up in the air with her shift ability. She's pretty neat. She's very regal. Like you said, she's from a very well-to-do family. She's a very regal cowgirl. And Totem, for the sake of my enjoyment and maybe Chad's enjoyment, can you please do her tagline to the best of your ability? Her ultimate tagline. Do it.
Well, I mean, there's only one.
There's the one. Do it.
There's only one, which I actually use in comp because I have a buddy named Blazing Bob, so I gave him, some flack about this immediately. But it's Bob. Do something.
Yes, there we go. So I love that voice line. It was at BlizzCon, and the voice actor was there on stage, and she did it live. It's just so fun. Like the voice actress herself has that southern accent because of where she's from, but like when she goes into her character's persona, she really like just goes home south and like dives into it. And yeah, it's pretty great. Yeah, Agodius, you said it. I'm not gonna embarrass myself. I'm not gonna try it. That's a lie. Maybe I will later. But yeah, she's great. I haven't played her too much. She only, I tried her briefly at BlizzCon, and it's always not great trying a brand new hero at BlizzCon, because there's the other people that will also be trying the new hero, but then there's the people that will like hop onto their mains and just destroy you while you're trying out this brand new character that you have no idea how to play. So at BlizzCon, I did one match because I didn't want to wait in the line repeatedly, just to get killed over and over as soon as I spawned. I'd spawn, run out, die. Spawn, run out, die. So I really didn't get to experience Ash at BlizzCon, but I have played her now that she's at home, now that she's live, and she definitely requires some skill. So I'm looking forward to doing a full episode on Ash once we all know more about her and what she's good at. We're still going to cover, like, as you already know, Totem, we're going to cover some things on her today, but we can't really get too deep into Ash because she's such a new character. We're not sure how she's going to fit into the meta, for example. So on that note, let's talk about, we really only speculate, but how do you feel like she'll fit in?
It's very interesting because she is a hit scan hero. So when I look at Ash, you basically just have to compare her to, heroes like Malkarii, Hanzo, and Widow. And right now, since we kind of are in that triple tank, triple support heavy meta, I feel like the dynamite damage is going to help in that regard to bring her maybe more play over someone like Hanzo or Widow. But right now it is all speculation just because she's not available in competitive play. We haven't seen the pro players playing her, in scrims or anything like that. But as a hero, I feel like she's going to be ideal in shorter range maps and against these tankier compositions. And if you have like a Mercy on your team, I feel like her value is definitely going to uptick quite considerably, because that will give her the ability to one-tap heroes in a game whenever she is in that sniper mode, as opposed to like just getting a headshot with Widow, because she doesn't really need that pocket as of right now.
Yeah, I like also how she reloads. Not like the other typical character where you run out of ammo and then you reload, wait for the ammo to reload, but like it's actually like on the fly. So if you run out of ammo, you wait like half a second, like she'll put like one bullet in, you can shoot that, but then you have to wait for the next one to go in, and it really slows it down. But just like an actual shotgun, you put one in, shoot, put one in, shoot. It's a very different reload dynamic than the other characters. I'm not sure if you noticed that. I'm sure you have, actually. You know everything. I do have my horse masks, guys. Maybe I'll bring them on other episodes.
Yeah, I brought that up when you had your difficulties.
I should have come back on with my horse mask. I think Diceboard mentioned that would have been a good idea. But I do have my talk show glasses. I could put those on. Total serious face right now. So, anyways, going back into Ash. Let's see here. Oh yeah, let's talk about Bob. Like enough about Ash. Actually, let's talk about Bob for a moment.
Let's talk about the real hero in this situation.
The real hero.
So Bob is a really interesting ultimate, and I'm trying to figure out whether it's the best thing in the world or something that's just mediocre right now. Because the design I really like, because Bob essentially acts as a 7th player on your team. So you can do a number of things with Bob. For one, he could actually contest objectives. So, whether it's on, a control map or, pushing a payload, things like that. He can also benefit from certain abilities in the game. Like you could nano boost him with Ana. You can use repair packs, sound barrier. You can teleport him if he's close to it. You could put your Zarya bubbles on him. But he's also susceptible to abilities like stuns. He can be frozen, slept. He can basically just be locked down by a Sombra with either Hack or EMP. But it's just the fact that he does act as a 7th player, which is both a good thing, but can also be a terrible thing based on your overall placement of him as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you shoot him in the wrong direction, he'll like run into a wall, stand there for a moment, and then disappear. So you really need to aim Bob in a good direction. And he's pretty strong. They're probably going to nerf him like they always do with new characters that are really strong, but he's like, if you're in Bob's range when he is summoned, you will die pretty quickly. But yeah, I actually didn't know that you could do all those things and buff him and whatnot. Because like I said, all my times playing Ash, I got killed really quickly, and I played her a little bit since BlizzCon. I'm not a super experienced person to talk about Ash. I know the basics of Ash. I like the dynamite and how you can blow it up or wait for it to blow up on its own. But yeah, Bob is annoying to play against. But I think it's really cool where they've allowed it where you can buff him, heal him, and all that. And you can also stun him and other things, sleep him. That's pretty cool too. So yeah, like you said, effectively a 7th player. Now, Ash, I guess you'd qualify her as a hit scan type player, right? With her scope ability. So how do you think she pairs up or goes against the other type of hit scans like McCree, Hanzo, Widow?
I feel like it's interchangeable, but it's going to be dependent on the overall situations and the maps that you're on. I'm trying to think if I would ever choose her over Widow. I feel like when you're dealing with these shield heavy compositions, Ash would definitely be the go-to just because you have more burst potential and the dynamite can do quite a bit of damage there. As with Widow, you're gonna have a hard time actually getting through a Reinhardt or an Orisa's shield. But if we compare her to a hero like Hanzo, as of right now, she just doesn't have that high burst potential that Hanzo has, or the ability to get those instant kills with headshots unless she has that Mercy pocket with her. And just the overall less mobility kind of puts her on the outside looking in when compared to Hanzo. And with McCree, McCree right now, a lot of it just is going to boil down to the value that you'd be getting out of your Flashbane stun. So I feel like it's going to be interchangeable, but I'm looking at more the shorter range maps or something with a little bit of high ground. Not necessarily Ilios, where you have the long sight lines on ruins, because a traditional sniper would be the benefactor in that situation.
Yeah, when I play her, I know she has that snipey ability, but she doesn't feel like a snipey type character. She's not someone I think, oh yeah, I'm playing Ash, I want to go find this high corner on this building and sit there and get people. That's not the type of character she is. But yeah, I look forward to playing her more and diving into more and doing a full episode on Ash. Now they just released her, but they're doing some updates on her. Is that correct?
Well, it wasn't necessarily updates on her specifically. Yes, like she is out. They didn't really do any fine tuning in between the PTR phase and going live, but we did get some other balance updates to some other heroes.
Oh yes, the other ones like was that? I know wasn't it Brigida? I thought Brigida got nerfed. They're talking about nerfing her.
That's
a different patch.
That's a PTR build.
Oh, on the PTR. Okay, that's probably why it's fresh in my mind. So it's not live yet, but they are unfortunately they're nerfing Baguette, and I'm so sad about that and happy about that at the same time. It's bittersweet. But okay, let's do a brief touch on, because this is Overwatch news. Let's talk about the balance updates on the other characters like Mercy, Reaper, Roadhog, and Symmetra. Just a brief rundown. We're not going to dive too much into the characters, guys, but we want to update you in case you didn't know. These characters have had some updates to them. So you want to start with Mercy, Totem? I'll take the next one.
Yeah, so Mercy, they were taking a look at her ultimate Valkyrie, where the ultimate cost has been reduced by 15%. They also increased her heal-in per second from 50 to 60, but that is only active during Valkyrie. So in regards to overall HPS, Mercy, or healing per second, Mercy is still going to fall behind someone like Anna, but she'll be a little bit more potent now when she does have her ultimate up. But, you know, we're not going to get back to the Moth meta of yesteryear, so people can kind of sit tight with that. But all in all, like, if you want to play Mercy, like, you should be feeling a little bit better, but hopefully you have an Ashe to pocket so you can give her that one-tap potential.
Yeah. All right, and then Reaper. So it was something about the spread randomization reduced by 50%. Now, I'll be honest. I'm not a huge Reaper player. I've played Reaper. I played all the heroes, and if I do mystery heroes, I'm functional in all of them, but I'm not an expert. So what is it? So when you talk about spread randomization, what are we talking about there?
Just basically,
like the bullet.
With its reducing, it's basically like the bloom effect. So the shotgun pattern is going to be more precise and not so like spread out, basically.
Oh, okay, I'm actually really looking forward to that. That's one of the reasons why I don't play Reaper a lot. It's just too random for me. So if it's more precise, maybe I'll give him some more love. And then there's also the lifesteal increase from 20 to 30% of damage dealt. So I also like that because on Reaper I die a lot. So having the opportunity to be a little bit more survivable on my own without a healer in my pocket is also really good. So I'm looking forward to these changes to Reaper. And next up is Roadhog.
Yeah, Roadhog had like a slew of changes, mostly revolving around his chain hook, which has been an ability that they've had like the hardest time kind of tuning because it hasn't felt great, whether you're being hooked in or as the person that is hooking people in towards you. So with the chain hook, they decreased the delay before pulling a hooked target from 0.5 seconds to 0.3 seconds. They also reduced the target's momentum upon being hooked. And then the cooldown also will now begin immediately instead of after the target has been pulled in. So just like Reaper with the Roadhog shotgun, they also adjusted the spread pattern both for his primary and secondary fire. Same with the spread randomization being reduced by 50%. And then they also kind of tweaked the whole hog ability, which is his ultimate, just a little bit, mostly with the max velocity, increasing that from 8 meters to 10 meters per second. And then they decrease the horizontal recoil slightly. So as a Roadhog player right now, your hook should feel better as a hog player. And it feels better getting pulled in too. You don't feel as helpless. But at the end of the day, right now, it's very hard to say that hog is still very viable. I feel like he's still going to be in that like third tank role. But if you're like a flank hog type player, you should be feeling better about these changes.
Yeah, there are a lot of like little changes, but like going said in chat, they make a huge difference. So I don't main Roadhog, but I do play against him a lot because he's a popular character. And as someone playing against Roadhog, I have felt these changes too. Actually, I find it a little bit easier to get away from his hook. I'm not sure it's just a personal thing, but I often play Junkrat, and when I'm hooked in, I just blow myself out of there. That's my counter for that. I'm so excited for the Junkrat episode. Oh my god. All right. And then Symmetra, not much changes on her, just the primary fire beam charges up to 20% faster. So she'll zap you more. Just what we want from Symmetra. Because I mean, they just did like in the previous changes, a whole swath of different things. She's basically an entirely new hero. So they just a little tweak to it. But yeah, she's basically this time.
That was done primarily because if you were not right-clicking and just spamming that, you were basically playing her wrong because you were doing a lot more damage with her alternate fire than you were with her primary fire. So this is them just trying to find the medium spot there, the sweet spot.
Excellent. Yeah, I like that they go through and they make these tweaks to make things feel better. Sometimes we don't like the tweaks, sometimes we do. Such is the way. Now, before we dive too much into a different topic here, I do want to touch on the reunion video that was played at BlizzCon, because yes, what the main thing that came out of that is Bob and Ash.
Yes,
but there was also another character they discussed that will be released at some point at an undetermined date in the future, and we don't have much information about this character, and it would all be speculation. But I would like to briefly touch on Echo. How do you feel about Echo?
You know, Echo is very curious, and the thing that I really loved about this short is, at the end of the day, like, any one of these could have been considered, like, the red herring, but, like, we actually are getting more than one hero just based off of this short alone. But Echo definitely intrigues me the most because, like, you could see the amount of respect that Malkarii had for Echo, to the point where Malkarii was basically just telling Echo, like, hey, they need you more than they need me. So, you know, there's a lot of speculation going on in regards to who Echo actually is. And, you know, she does have a lot of similarities to Athena, you know, the AI that Winston uses. And if you notice on Echo, like, she has a lot of emotions and she shows a lot of emotions. And even, like, when she came out of that container or refrigerator, depending on how you want to describe it. It kind of felt like this very stoic moment, like it was like a rise of a queen almost. And you could like see the amount of respect from Malkarii. But like there's kind of like a Vishkar type logo on her head. So I'm really curious to see whether or not Echo is actually Vishkar property. Maybe this is going to tie into some additional lore for either Symmetra or Lucio. If I had to put a bet on it, I would say Lucio's father was probably the designer of maybe not Echo as a whole, but like maybe the chassis of the robots. But tinfoil hat time, like in regards to if we're talking about actual lore, like this is something that I would like to see them do. Because we have already seen that Echo feels very different compared to some of the other Omnics in the game right now, whether you know, it's based on her expressions or just how she acts and how she reacts to Malkarii. I want that chip that was in, you know, that activation for her to be like a conscious that was basically copied into an Omnic. I feel like Echo in her prior life was a human that was very important to the original Overwatch team.
That's
and there's going to be some major lore incident that we haven't learned about yet. But I feel like we haven't really heard too much about like the God programs in such a long time. And, you know, this could lead down that path. But I'm excited. Like it could be a number of things, but I'm hoping it's actually someone that has been close to the team already, that they have found a way to bring back, whether, you know, it's just from a chip or just finding like a new body as a host.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I'm curious, like where she was taken from. Like she was obviously on the train being transported somewhere by someone who was intercepted. I'm curious to see what kind of hero she is. I feel like just by the look of her, you might feel like similar to Symmetra, that type of vibe. But I think she's going to be more of like a really strong attack hero. Very offensive type hero. That's what my best guess is. I think she's going to be a badass on the damage. But yeah, I'm also curious what the lore behind the relationship between Malkarii and Echo. Why did Malkarii have that chip that activated her, be it her soul, her programming, whatever it was? I'm curious to see what that's about. And yeah, like again, like I just wanted to briefly touch on her because she was like a new thing announced. But yeah, like I said, all we can do is speculate. Chat, if you have anything you want to add about Echo, please do. Please do. On that note, is there anything else you want to touch on regarding Ash, Bob, Echo, or the character changes we discussed? Totem?
Well, just as a reminder, Ash is not going to be in competitive for at least 2 weeks, just like other hero releases.
Yes, yeah, that is important to note. She's only in quick play and arcade and all those other things, but not comp. And I'm so excited to see what she's like in comp, and I'll probably try to do an episode shortly after, or maybe I'll wait a couple weeks after she's out in comp, so there's really some input information about how well she's doing, and then I'll do an Ash episode with someone, be it you or someone else that's really into her. And I'm looking forward to diving into Ash and how well she's doing.
Yeah, and just as a quick side note too, next week Overwatch is free to play from the November 20th through the 26th. So like if you guys have friends out there that haven't tried the game yet, this is like the longest trial period that they have done. So you know, any sort of progress that they make, if they purchase a game, will still be intact. You know, they'll have all their skins that they've unlocked. And traditionally, like every time there's a free weekend or whatever, the game ends up being half off at the end of it, so they can pick it up at a lower cost as well.
Yeah, no, I love that Blizzard does the Overwatch free weekend, because so many people will say, you know, I'm kind of interested in the game. I kind of want to try it. I don't know if I'm going to like it. I don't want to spend the money on it, but there's no excuse, because there are these free weekends where you can download the game for free, play for free. And like Totem mentioned, you get to keep all your skins, loot boxes, just anything that you've gained during that time. Buy the game, usually at a discount at the end. And and on that note, I am giving away a copy of Overwatch through the tweet I made on the Twitter. So make sure you retweet it. All you gotta do is retweet it to enter, and I'll probably pick a winner later today after the show. So if you want to own Overwatch, you don't want to buy it, or you can't afford to buy it, that's an option too. I'll be giving a digital copy for the PC away. So you definitely, and if you guys want to do the Overwatch free weekend, you want to try it out, I want to play with you. I always want to play with people. I'm on Overwatch a lot. I even stepped down from Mythic rating in World of Warcraft to play Overwatch more. And I always want to play with people. And don't come to me and say, "Oh, but I'm bad, Malk. I don't want to play. I suck." So your point, what? I don't care. I just want to have fun with my friends. So, thank you, Zori, for linking that tweet. So click on that tweet. You just got to retweet it to enter. And be sure to follow the BeLive Twitter page while you're already on Twitter. And if you haven't hit that follow button on Twitch, do so now. If you want to win those loot boxes, you have to follow. And then I was going to add, Chidu mentioned that he feels like Echo might be more of a healer or support hero. Maybe. I think you're wrong, but maybe. I'm just kidding. Like I said, it's all speculation, and I'm excited to see what she will be. By Malkarie's voice line, it sounds like she could be a really strong support. Maybe the team, the rest of the heroes need her really badly, or it's because she's also just maybe a very powerful attack hero. I don't know. There's some sort of connection there. I'm looking forward to learning more about her. Yeah, I do play with Solso, and he is pretty horrible. So don't matter if you're a bad player. I will play with you. I just want to have a good time. So on that note, I do want to touch on some competitive stuff. This show is more about the more average casual player, but I still want to talk about the competitive scene and what's going on, and try to make it easier to understand, easy to digest thing. So something that was announced at BlizzCon, or even prior to BlizzCon, there's a bunch of new Overwatch League teams. I'm most excited, and I'm very biased on this, I'm most excited for the Vancouver team, because I live in Vancouver, British Columbia, and Luminosity picked up that team, and they haven't announced anything. We know nothing about it beyond Luminosity and the company that owns the Vancouver Canucks hockey team owns this Vancouver Overwatch team. I'm excited to see what's going on there. So I can't talk on that because nothing has been announced, but there are some other teams that some logos and skins and names have been announced. So let's touch on those. Let me I need to grab the link I had that had the picture. So in the meantime, Totem, if you want to start talking about those teams.
Yeah, so just a quick side note, there are 8 new expansion teams for Season 2, so we'll be up to 20 teams overall. So the first one that was announced in regards to the expansion teams, at least in the last week, we had the Paris team, which is Paris Eternal. And we already know what this roster is. If you're looking at players to be keeping an eye on, they do have 2 prior Overwatch League players in Soon, who previously played for the LA Valiant as their Tracer and Widow Specialist. They also picked up Shadowburn, formerly of Philadelphia Fusion. He is a projectile specialist, so he'll be seeing a lot of Genji and Pharah primarily. But like across the board, like when you look at this team, they have a ton of talent out of Europe, and they're actually the only team in the Overwatch League as of right now that is fully Western. So they do not have any Korean players on this roster. And in terms of,
I'm excited about that. Like, Koreans are fine, but there's so many of them in the esports scene. I'm excited to see more of the other players coming in.
Absolutely.
Just want to throw that in there. Like,
yeah, and something that I'm really happy about is they picked up a player that I've been following ever since he first stepped into the competitive scene back when the game was still in closed beta, that being Cruz. He is a support player, main support. Usually he is on Lucio, and he used to play for a team that was reunited back in the early days of Overwatch, which was one of the esports teams that would always seem to finish in second place. Very similar to a team that is rumored to have signed with Vancouver. But most recently, he played for Toronto Esports, which is the academy team or was the academy team. I'm not going to get into that because there's a lot of drama there. But it's a Boston academy team, essentially. But he's known for his Lucio play, and he's essentially like the ultimate guardian in regards to boops and protecting his other teammates, because he's great at creating that separation, especially when he sees a Dragon Blade coming straight at him. So he's been someone I followed for a long time, and I'm glad to see him finally get in a bigger opportunity to play on the main stage. But I'm excited for this team. I have to have modest expectations just because it is all Europe talent, and that does concern me a bit. But you know, they have their like burgundy rooster logo,
which screen now on the corner,
which has like the like infinity symbol kind of like worked into the design. I'm not like crazy about the actual logo. I kind of like memed it when it came out, where I just like added a beret and a baguette. So, you know, you would for sure know that this was the French team.
This is Paris. Yeah. Well, I mean, because they also use the rooster for is it football or soccer? One of the other main things. Like the rooster is like Paris's thing, right? So yeah,
sure.
It is. I'm pretty sure it is. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure like I think that's why they went with the rooster, because it's a thing that they already have for in their sports thing already. So their colors are blue and red respectively. And yeah, so the next team is, and I'm gonna butcher these names, but is it the Guangzhou Charge is the other team, and do we have any? I think we only know information about one player, right? We're still, these teams, like in chat, these teams are very new. Like the full rosters haven't been announced yet. These logos are new things. Like it's all very, very, very new. I think these ones were the ones that were announced at BlizzCon or right before BlizzCon. So yeah. So the one player, is it Hotba?
Yeah, Hotba, who was traded from the Philadelphia Fusion here last month. And, you know, with the Fusion, Hotba basically proved himself as a pretty serviceable diva player when he played for the Fusion. And there were even times where he would flex and play a very high-end Tracer player as well, which was not something that you really get to see every day. Whenever he did pull it out, he was competing against the best Tracers in the world. So, you know, there is that extra element of threat to him as a player. But in regards to, like, these teams, guys, it's important to note that for the Overwatch League teams, they basically have until December 1st to have 8 players contracted for their team.
That's coming up really quickly, really fast.
It's a couple weeks out.
So you guys still have a chance. You can get in there. Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Right. So over these next 2 weeks, you can expect a very steady flow of roster announcements for a number of teams out there, including the next team that we're going to be talking about, which is another one of the Chinese teams.
All right, and then I just want to talk about their logo really quickly. So it's on the right hand, the top right hand corner of the screen. There we go, beside us there. So this is the Guangzhou Charge, and I just love how their logo actually has a lightning bolt in it. That's quite clever. I love looking at logos and seeing the little neat, tricky, intricate things they do that. So I definitely like it more than Paris's Rooster logo. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's very, very traditional in a sense, and the whole lightning bolt thing kind of played into the first tweet that they sent, which was like this very ominous picture. It was like a video of like the sea, and like there was a storm going on, and then there was like this creepy lullaby that was playing in the background, and it was just like warning the other Overwatch League teams. So I'm glad, to some extent, they at least tied the name into the initial threats that they gave to the other teams out there. I thought that was pretty interesting.
The next team we're talking about, I'm curious about their choice of name paired with their logo. If you think about it, it's when I first saw it, I had to do a head tilt and think about that for a moment. So it's the Chengdu Hunters, and their logo is a panda, which, you know, being China, pandas, it makes sense. But the name of the team is Hunter. Like, when I think of pandas, I don't think of hunters. So very interesting choice there. I love it because it's a panda, but like a very interesting choice. So there's no announced players for this team, so we really can't talk about anything on that. We can just appreciate the panda logo and the yellow and the brown colors that they chose for their colors. But yeah, well, I mean, what do you guys? Oh yeah, Social said Kung Fu Panda. I guess so. I mean, I guess pandas can be aggressive. I've never met one in real life. I mean, it could be like a koala. Koalas look cute, but they're actually very vicious. Maybe it's the same for pandas. I don't know. But yeah, so there's not so much we can say on the Chengdu Hunters. So let's move on to the next. Is the Hangzhou's Spark. Very, very vibrant colors. And we do know some of their, or at least one of their players, and I'm not going to try pronouncing the name. I'm going to leave that to you, Totem. That is all on you. Let's talk about this player.
Well, they said they're going to be announcing like 2 players every day, but the player I want to talk about is probably going to be the one that everyone will be most familiar with if they watch the Overwatch World Cup this year, because he was one of the prominent members of Team China, that being their main tank, Gu Shui. Gu Shui was like one of the breakout performers this year, and he is a world-class Winston player who used to play for LGD Gaming, which is one of the premier Chinese Overwatch teams. And as a player, he's known for his aggressive play style, which awards him very high-level eliminations as a tank that has been on par and even surpassing some of the top DPS players, especially when we look back to the World Cup. But, you know, you talked about, the name. I want to talk about the logo and kind of like the reason behind this logo. So initially, Hangzhou had sent out like a Twitter poll looking for, community feedback in regards to potential names. The name that they chose that won the poll was actually Railgun, and that did not get approved by Blizzard. Now, this team and its parent company is BeLive, who is a Chinese streaming site, kind of similar to like YouTube, and they went with the color scheme from that website. But BeLive also owns Crunchyroll, which is an anime streaming service.
Yeah, I love Crunchyroll.
And Railgun actually is a reference to a specific anime, just like the name and the logo. And that was a certain scientific railgun. And, the finger gun is a callback to that specific anime. So I thought that was very interesting. Like, as soon as people saw this, like, Twitter freaked out, and it was just like immediate fanfare. Everyone's loving the pink and the blue. My only gripe is, as someone that follows the Korean Overwatch scene, I am a huge fan of Runaway, who are rumored to be Vancouver. But the color scheme is very close to what Hangzhou had picked out for their team. So probably not going to get that for another team. But, a lot of people are liking the Pink Reaper. It's a little bit too much for me. It's very vibrant. And I know that's kind of saying something because it's very close to my actual hair color right now.
It really is the bright pink and blue. You preemptively, you just knew what this team.
Yeah, I knew they would stick with the BeLive pink. But yeah. I do like the branding, and out of everything so far, I feel like with the expansion teams, this team in particular is gonna get the most amount of fanfare just based off the color scheme alone.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, when I look at those colors, I think D.Va, because, with the bright pink, and D.Va's a very well-beloved character. Before you touch on the last one, I have a logo concept that someone thinks that the Washington Justice team is going to have, and I'm excited about this logo. I really hope it's the logo they choose. It's all like speculated right now. Before I switch screens, though, I want to show viewers a couple more BeLive functions. So as you can see, that we have myself and Totem cameras, and we also have another window open. And there's actually not one, not two, not five, but 7 different ways I can lay out these 3 screens on the screen that you're seeing by a click of a button, which is so cool. I really love BeLive, and I'm not being paid to say that or anything. I sincerely love this website. So let me just show you guys a few of the different layouts I could make at no effort at all. Look at this. We got this one, we got this one, nice and big. See my face, it's great. Or everyone's equal. We have then the one we were just on. And then the final one. So there's so many different options you can do, and with the 3-screen format. And if you have 4 different screens or like 4 different people talking on the show, it breaks down into like a 4-screen thing. It's just so cool. There's really no setup required. Everything you need is on this website. It's not like XSplit or OBS where you really need to make your own overlay. You need to set up how everything's going to be. It's this BeLive. Everything is already set up for you. They've thought of everything. And it's so cool. So I just wanted to make sure I showed that to you guys before I hop on to my next thing here. So let me pull down the screen and pull up the screen because it's so easy to do. So this is the speculated Washington Justice logo. So Washington, D.C. has a team, and I giggled because I'm a huge Marvel and DC fan, and Captain America being a Marvel character and Washington, D.C. team having a logo that looks very similar to, it's very Captain America-esque, isn't it? So I had a little giggle to myself about that. So I really hope this is the official logo that they decided to go with, because it just screams America. Yeah, very. Oh yeah, the very subtle W in the shield there, very clever. And like Totem was mentioning before we were doing pre-show chat. Actually, I'll let you say it. What are your thoughts on this logo concept?
I absolutely love it, and it's not just a W. Like the middle of the W is the Washington Monument. So I mean, there's so much stuff like incorporated into the shield. Now, for me, like I look at this from a merchandise, perspective, and this is perfect. I think this and the Hunters one is definitely going to bring the most potential in regards to the merchandise. I just want to actually get shields made for this team in particular, and to see, the people in the stadiums cosplaying, in their USA gear or Captain America even, and then using that shield to, maybe combat the gladiators in that regard, to give them a little bit of their own medicine. I think that would be great to see.
I really hope that they go with this logo. So we got this. It's from actually a Reddit post I found while doing some research for the show. I think that this was pulled, like they said they pulled it from the app or the API or something. Yes. That's where they got that. So this could be the logo, but it's not officially confirmed yet. But I want to make sure we threw that one out there. And then as far as the other 3 teams, we don't know anything about them yet, right? We don't know their name. We know the cities, but we don't know the names, the rosters, the colors, the logos. We know nothing. So as I do these episodes each week, as soon as I know that info, I'll make sure I talk about it on the show for you guys. So wrapping up the show here soon. It has gone on a bit longer than planned, and of course the technical difficulties delaying it a bit. I'm sincerely sorry for that, but I also love how simple it was to get back on with BeLive. I had a moment of panic. Oh god, I just turned my computer off midstream. And it was a breeze getting back on and just immediate relief. So well done, BeLive. And I saw someone earlier in chat ask what BeLive is. So those hopping in, I know I did spiel at the beginning, but those hopping in just now, as you can see, I'm on the BeLive Twitch channel. To do this live stream that you're watching right now, I'm not using any of the main streaming softwares. I'm not using XSplit or OBS or Bebo or any of those other things. I am using BeLive, which isn't actually a software. It's just a website that you connect to your Twitch account, you go on, in literally 2 clicks, you could be live on your Twitch channel with all these layout functions and colors and neat things that you can use. So it's really great. Definitely recommend you check it out. Click the link that Azaria linked, the BeLive.tv/Twitch, and take a look at it. And if you do try it out, let me know how you like it. And if you haven't yet, join the Discord. Zora, you don't mind linking that in chat again. I'd appreciate it. Join the Discord. We want to get more Twitch streamers into BeLive. Like I mentioned earlier, BeLive is known for its success on Facebook, for Facebook live streaming. So they just recently got into the Twitch market and it's still in beta. So if you want to do a talk show or you already do a talk show and you'd like to try out BeLive, hop into Discord and go to the site, belive.tv/Twitch, and check it out. Give it a try. And the whole BeLive team is very helpful, welcoming. If you have any input for them, they actually sincerely listen to it and take it into account. And it has been a wonderful experience working with them so far. And I'm looking forward to continuing to use their platform and continue to do this talk show. And I'm just so excited for this opportunity. And I'm so excited that you guys are here sharing the first episode of this opportunity with me. And of course, to Totem, thank you so much for coming in and being my co-host for this first episode. For those that don't know, I showcasted an Overwatch tournament with Totem. It was my first time ever doing it. And I learned a lot of new things that day. And I have a great respect for all shoutcasters out there in the world because it is exhausting. You have to constantly be paying attention, calling everything out. You don't get a break. You don't get to close your eyes for a moment. Like you have to be on the point. No pun totally intended. So I figured, you know what? I got to do the first showcasting thing with him. I want to include him on my first episode of this brand new show that I'm doing. So thank you so much, Totem, for coming on and being a guest. Is anything else you want to say? I'm going to look through chat and see who is active and see who I want to give loot boxes to. And remember, guys, if you want these loot boxes, you have to be following the BeLive Twitch channel. If you haven't done so, do so now. Do it. So I'm going to give it away to Totem for a moment. I'm going to scroll through chat and see who's been chatty.
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone who's been hanging out with us through the technical difficulties. BeLive has been great. They just didn't prepare for you actually unplugging your computer. But I got to host for a little bit. We got through it. There was a little bit of, intermediate, pause there, but we got through it. And, that just means for the next one, we'll be 100% golden. So thank you so much, Mel, for having me on. I greatly appreciate it. And I hope everyone enjoyed our first episode.
Yes, difficulties and all. Oh, here's my thank you glasses. I got to put those on. These are my thank you glasses. Thank you for coming. So I scrolled through chat and I want to give these loot boxes to someone who's been here since the show first started today and stuck through the technical difficulties when I shut my computer off, and he's still here chatting. So Soul, hit me up later. I'm going to give you some Overwatch loot boxes. Thank you so much for being so active in chat and participating and sticking it out during the technical difficulties and being one. I think you're the first chatter in chat too before the stream even went live. So thank you, Soul. I appreciate you so much. And of course, I appreciate everyone else. And I will be giving away loot boxes every single episode. So just come by, be active in chat, hang out. And the other episodes should be a bit shorter than this one because I wanted to cover BeLive. I wanted to cover what the show's going to be about. And of course, the technical difficulty. So this show went on a little longer than the other ones will. But just come by, hang out. And as a finishing note, I want to talk about next week's episode. And I'm going to throw a pun in here. And I know you'll appreciate it, Totem. Maybe some people in the chat will appreciate it. But next week, we're going to dive into Winston and discuss what's going on with him with Agonius, who's been in chat as well. So Agonius will be my guest while we dive into some info on Winston. And please tell me you got that pun, Totem. I'm proud of it. You get it. Yeah, so if you guys didn't understand that pun I just said repeatedly, make sure you tune into next week's episode. And we're going to learn a bit about Winston and his play style, how to play better. Agonius is a very skilled player. And I'll dive into him dive into the information about him as well. I'm not going to give you the intro to Agonius just yet. All you know is that his name is Agonius, and he might know a thing or five about Winston. Dive into Agonius. I am the worst. I didn't mean it to come across that way. Totally did not mean that. So, eat. Oh, I love that emote. Sorry, where did you get that emote? I need to find that streamer and sub to them and have that emote. All right. And then last thing before I head off here, I really want input and feedback from you guys. What are you looking for in an Overwatch talk show? What type of topics do you want me to discuss when I do these individual hero episodes? Are you an experienced player or a coach or an employee that wants to talk about the game? Please email me or hit me up on Twitter and we can look into this. In fact, let me type my email on screen here. another awesome feature of BeLive. Bam, there we go. There's my email. hello@malkarii.com. Please reach out to me. I know today was messy and derpy, but please give me feedback on today's episode too. I'm always open to constructive criticism. And because next week we are doing Winston as the topic, throughout the week, I would love for you guys to email me clips of your Winston plays, and I'm going to feature them on the stream. Feature as many of them as possible. If I get like swamped with Winston clips, I'll have to limit the number I choose. I would like to feature your clips live on this stream, on this show, next Sunday at high noon, 12 p.m. PST. So please send me your clips to hello@malkarii.com. And any questions, insight, criticisms, also send me an email or a Twitter message. Agonius knows at least 3 things. At least 3 things, Agonius.
Yeah, I'll also give bonus points whoever sends in clips specifically on Horizon Lunar Colony because of everything that went down there. Just from the lore perspective.
Yes, if you're familiar with the Winston lore, clips from that map, for sure. So I wanted to, let me grab it really quick. So my computer shut off, and so all the tabs and things I had prepped that were open are not. So just give me a second to grab this. Dun, 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 dun. I'll see how, and I love how BeLive is so simple because I know I'm able to quickly do this live. It's so wonderful. All right, let me add this. Just 1 second here. I clicked the wrong thing. Malkarii. If it will let me.
She'll get there eventually, guys, I promise.
I will. I got it. Okay, so I'm going to be making an actual outro, but for now, I'm going to use this video. And I'm probably playing some Overwatch after this, so if you guys want to play Overwatch with me, I'm going to be here, and I would love to play with as many of you as possible, with all of you. Mm-hmm. So I'll hop onto Overwatch as soon as I'm done this show to get some of these first show jitters out. 2 hours later, oh, Zan, okay, fine. I'll give it to you. I'll leave. I'll go away. All right, so on that note, have a good week. I'll talk to you guys next Sunday. And remember, always be kind. Say hello to your fellow players. And don't forget to always get on the point.